everybody. I hope that you're well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 7 English lesson on sentence types. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English language arts. We're doing grade 7. And then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of sentence types. All right. So our chapter is sentence types. Our subject is English language arts. We're doing grade 7. And our lessons for today is the sentence declarative, interrogative, imperative, or exclamatory? So is the sentence declarative, interrogative, imperative, or exclamatory? So we basically going to find out about our different types of sentences, how we can identify declarative sentence, an interrogative sentence, imperative sentence, as well as an exclamatory sentence. All right. So there are 4 different kinds of sentences, right? So we have 4 different kinds of sentences. And one of the four different kinds of sentences is it's a declarative sentence. So we have a declarative sentence. And a declarative sentence, right? It is a statement. So a declarative sentence is a statement that you make and it always ends with a period. So a declarative sentence is a statement and it always ends with a period. And basically when it comes to a statement, right? A statement is basically where you just say anything. Like if I tell you I have one brother and two sisters, then that is a statement that I'm making. I'm not expecting you to say anything back. And if we look at an example, right, of a sentence, of a declarative sentence, it says, the nurse told Mr. Abrams to roll up his sleeve so that she could check his blood pressure. They're only telling you to do that because they want to check your blood pressure. And like we said, when it comes to a statement, right, it is basically you just telling someone to do something. And like we said, it ends with a period. Period, dot, full stop. So anything that you say, which is a statement, I'm going to the movies on Saturday. That is a statement that you make. It's like you're just telling someone that. And it ends with a period. The second kind of sentence that we have, right, is an interrogative sentence. We have an interrogative sentence. And if you think of the word interrogative, right, just think of those NCI movies or where they take somebody to jail, and before they take somebody to jail, they now need to interrogate the person. What do? They ask you questions. So an interrogative sentence is a question. They ask you in and out. It's questions that is being asked. So even if you forget what interrogative is, think of the example of if they take the person, they're going to question the person in and out. That is a interrogative. It's questions that they're asking you. And it always ends with a question mark. Interrogative sentence always ends with a question mark. And if we look at an example, right, of an interrogative sentence, which is a question that always ends with a question mark, then it says, do you have any plans for the upcoming weekend? So if you ask somebody, do you have any plans for the upcoming weekend? They are going to respond. They're going to answer you. So you ask the question, they answer you. All right. And then we have an imperative sentence. And an imperative sentence is a command. So an imperative sentence, it's a command that you make. And with the command, right, it is basically like saying it's like you're making a request. So it makes a request or it tells someone to do something. And when it comes to an imperative sentence, which is a command that you make, it usually ends with a period. It ends with a period. However, if the command shows strong feelings, and then it ends with an exclamation point. Then it ends with an exclamation point. And the command, right, the request that is being made, where you tell someone to do something and it ends with a period, it is me just randomly saying, okay, let's turn to our chapter. Let's go to the chapter of, or go to the chapter of sentence types. So now you're going to the chapter of sentence type. Or it is saying, take out your writing books, study chapter 10 because it's going to come in the test. That is basically a command. It's basically a request that is being made. Why? Because it is needed. You need to do that. And an example is for this assignment, use references to support your claims. They are telling you to use references to support your claim because you're going to be marked on it. And if we want to, for example, with an imperative sentence where the command shows strong feeling, remember we see that it ends with an exclamation point. That is more where we are stressing a point. Like we say, we're showing strong feeling. And that is don't drive so quickly in the in the construction zone. It's like I'm stressing the point that you shouldn't. And then lastly, we have an exclamatory sentence, right? And an exclamatory sentence, it is like a statement where you're telling someone to do something, not telling someone, it's like you're just telling someone something. So an exclamatory sentence like a statement, but it shows surprise or shows strong feelings. And when it comes to an exclamatory sentence, right? An exclamatory sentence, it always ends with an exclamation point. It always ends with an exclamation point. And if we look at an example of an exclamatory sentence, it says, I can't wait to travel through Europe this summer, meaning that you're excited, you cannot wait. So that is basically what an exclamatory sentence is. It shows excitement, it shows strong feelings, it shows surprise. And these are once again our four kinds of sentences. We have a declarative sentence, which is like a statement. A declarative sentence is a statement which shows strong feeling, a statement, and it ends with a period. And then we have an interrogative sentence, which is a question, and it always ends with a question mark. We have an imperative sentence, which is a command, and a command makes a request or tells someone to do something, and it usually ends with a period. But if the command shows strong feeling and it ends with but if the command shows strong feeling and then it ends with an exclamation point. And then the fourth sentence types or kind of sentence is an exclamatory sentence. And an exclamatory sentence is like a statement. It shows surprise or it shows strong feeling. An exclamatory sentence, it always ends with an exclamation point. All right. So now we're going to aplusstudents.ca and we are going to say, is the sentence declarative? Is it interrogative? Is it imperative or exclamatory? All right. So we're going to look at the kind of sentences, right? You're going to say, what kind of sentence is this? It says, don't overlook Malia when choosing the new principal. So don't overlook Malia when choosing the next principal or the new principal. We need to say what type of sentence is it? Is it a declarative sentence, interrogative sentence, imperative sentence, or exclamatory sentence? And if we were to choose the correct or to say what kind of sentence it is, it says don't overlook Malia when choosing a new principal. It's like you're telling someone that they shouldn't. It's telling someone. And if you're telling someone, like, not to overlook somebody else, or let's say Malia, then we can say this is an imperative sentence. It's telling someone something. All right. So this is an imperative sentence. Let's look at the next one. Where is the next sentence? Here. We need to say what kind of sentence is this. The author finally received recognition for his great work after his children found his old manuscript in the attic and published it. So which one is correct? Do we is this a declarative sentence, interrogative sentence, imperative, or exclamatory sentence? And if we were to choose the kind of sentence that this is, the author finally receives recognition for his great work after his children found his old manuscript in the attic and published it. We can say this is a declarative sentence because it's basically just them telling us something. It's just a statement that is being made. So we can say this is a declarative sentence. So declarative sentence. All right, and let's look at the last one, and then we're going to out test. The last one, then we're going to out test. It says in 1996, in 1996, Death Valley had 40 days with temperatures above 120 degrees. So in 1996, Death Valley had 40 days with a temperature above 120 degrees Celsius. And if we were to choose the correct option, we will say that this is an exclamatory sentence because they are showing surprise, like, wow, like, can you even imagine that this happened? So it's an exclamatory sentence. All right, so now we're going to our test where we are going to say, is it a sentence? Is the sentence declarative, imperative, interrogative, or exclamatory? So, what kind of sentence is this? Who's responsible? Whose responsibility is it to wake the mayor when there's an emergency? Is that an exclamatory sentence or interrogative sentence? And if we were to choose the correct option, we would say it's an interrogative sentence because a question is being asked. So a question is being asked. All right, the next one says, what kind of sentence is this? Caribou eat plants and grass in the summer and mushrooms and lichen in the winter. So caribou eat plants and grass in the summer and mushrooms and lichen in the winter. Is that a declarative sentence or is that an interrogative sentence? Which one is correct? And if we were to choose the correct option, we would say this is a declarative sentence. It is basically just a statement that is being made. It's a statement that is being made. All right, the next one says, what kind of sentence is this? It says, which do you think is the most important environmental issue of our time, water conservation, or the protection of natural habitats? Is this an imperative sentence or is it an interrogative sentence? Imperative sentence or an interrogative sentence? So, which do you think is the most important environmental issue of our time, water conservation, or the protection of natural habitats? Is that an imperative sentence, a command that is being made, or interrogative sentence, a question that is being asked? And if we were to choose the correct option, then we would say it is an interrogative sentence, a question that is being asked. It's a question that is being asked. All right, the next one says give Jared a tour of the building and then take him to Mr. Sawyer's office. So give Jared a tour of the building and then take him to Mr. Sawyer's office. Is that an interrogative sentence, meaning that we are asking a question? Or is that an imperative sentence? It is a command or a request that is being made. So give Jared a tour of the building and then take him to Mr. Sawyer's office. If we were to say what kind of sentence that is, then we would say this is an imperative sentence. It is a request that is being made or a command. The next one says, the audience's thunderous applause left me completely speechless. So the audience's thunderous applause left me completely speechless. Is that an exclamatory sentence or is it a declarative sentence? So the audience's thunderous applause left me completely speechless. We need to say, is that an exclamatory sentence or if that is a declarative sentence? And if we were to choose the correct option, and then we would say, this is an exclamatory sentence. And it ends with a exclamation point. All right. And it says, I couldn't believe how talented those trapeze artists were. I couldn't believe how talented those trapeze artists were. Is that an interrogative sentence or is that an exclamatory sentence? All right. And if we were to choose the correct option, I couldn't believe how talented those trapeze artists were. Then we can say it is an exclamatory sentence. All right. Now we're looking at the last one. It says the small dark spot is the name of a cyclone that occurred on the planet Neptune. So the small dark spot is the name of a cyclone that occurred on the planet Neptune. And if we were to choose the correct option, we would say it is a declarative sentence. It's basically them just telling us something, it's a statement. All right, so this is now the end of our lessons, grade 7, on sentence types. We see there are four kinds of sentences. We have a declarative sentence, which is a statement, and that statement ends with a period. Then we have an interrogative sentence, which is a question that is being asked, right? And it ends with a question mark. Then we have an imperative sentence, which is a command or request that is being made, which ends with a period. But if it shows strong feelings, and then it ends with an exclamatory sentence, an exclamation point. Then we have an exclamatory sentence, right, which is a statement, but it shows strong feeling and shows surprise, and it ends with an exclamation point. All right, so that is the end of our lesson on sentence types. Thank you very much, grade 7s, for joining the class, and I really hope that you're going to have a good day further. So, until next time, goodbye.